Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. You can watch this program live on our Facebook page, Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You can also hear us live on audio streaming at Evox PBS receiver app. Join us for another edition of Front and Center with your host, Jerome Toledo.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Well, in his fourth State of the Nation address, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ordered an audit and a review of flood control projects after he found out in his visit to flood-affected areas in Luzon last July that some of the flood control projects that shall help to prevent a widespread flood damage were sloppy, ineffective, and substandard. He called out contractors and public officials involved in these corrupt practices to be ashamed of their deeds. Heeding the order of the President or the Department of Public Works and Highways said that a list of flood control projects will be submitted to the President a week after PBBM's SONA or President Marcos Jr.'s State of the Nation address. Meanwhile, DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan reported that close to 10,000 flood control projects have been completed nationwide under the Marcos Jr. administration, starting from July 2022 to May 2025. And also, a House committee or House committees will investigate the anomalies in flood control projects. So that will be led by a party list representative. And also, the DPWH may face a significant budget cut for next year, as reported by the PhilStar. And also this morning, President Marcos Jr. has launched a website dedicated to flood control projects, and that's the result of his directive last SONA to audit those flood control projects. And to give us more details and analysis regarding this topic, we now have on the line the House Committee on Public Accounts Chairperson, Representative Terry Ridon. Good morning, Congressman Ridon. Thank you so much for spending time with us. This is Jerome Toledo on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so this morning, Representative Ridon, President Marcos Jr. has conducted a press conference regarding the flood control projects, and he received a list of flood control projects. And as a matter of fact, a website has been launched dedicated to flood control projects. And when I saw that website, which is sumbongsapangulo.ph, the projects, all the list of all the flood control projects were listed and posted online, and there's a mechanism that that the public can be used to report. What's your reaction on this po? Itong inilabas na proyekto na website.
Well, firstly, I think that's something that we welcome, but I think very important to note that this is a reporting mechanism that is being instituted by the President. Very important for the public to be able to participate and report these particular projects, on whether or not these had in fact been completed, delayed, substandard, or actually ghost. So, but the problem with the website is I don't think it actually lists its actual status of completion. So I think that's something that maybe we have to be able to look into at this point. So very important that the President mentioned that he will be fair in looking at all of these allegations, particularly because at the level of the House, that is also the manner by which we seek to conduct our investigation into all of the anomalous flood control projects being reported today.
Okay. But of course, President Marcos Jr. said in the press conference that this is just an initial step towards accountability regarding this flood control project. So, President Marcos Jr. is also asking the public to report and to cooperate in finding the truth behind this anomalous flood control projects.
But I think the most important part of the president's press conference today is the fact that you have flood control projects in areas that are not deemed the most flood prone areas. So I think that's something that we have to actually look into as to whether or not, as to why the Public Works Department actually allowed this particular situation to happen, because ultimately it is the president, it is the Public Works Department and the Executive Department that makes a determination on what projects will in fact be funded on a year-to-year basis. No? So we'd like to be able to know whether these projects are actually net originated projects, meaning it was executive originated projects, or if these were actually congressional initiatives made by either the Senate or the House in the last couple of years.
And also, the president said that he will read the feedback to be provided by the public. So there's a transparency mechanism here, and President Marcos Jr. is open to receive these reports that will be coming from the public.
Yeah. Of course, the website is a work in progress, but I think it will be very difficult for the public to make actual reports at this point, particularly because what the website actually just mentioned would be the list of the project name,
Yes.
of all the flood projects there. No? So I don't think the public has an idea of the project name. I think they have more of an idea of how it actually looks like in their vicinity. So I think that's something that they have to include in that particular list as well. No? And particularly the geotagging of which areas and particular projects that we are talking about. No? Absent that, I think it will be a bit difficult for the public to make a determination on whether the project that they're actually looking at, which might be completed, which might be substandard, which might be uncompleted, would be the same exact project that is being mentioned or that is being listed in the infrastructure website launched by the president.
Okay, so there's a need for an information drive to make the public know about this website.
So I think they have to do a little bit more particularity into the list. No? So they just placed the project name into the website, but for the public's understanding, I think they have to provide the particular pictures, and GPS location of these particular projects for the public to actually be able to know where this is. Is this the actual project that they see in their barangay, in their purok, in their city? So I think a little bit more information might be required as to all of these infrastructure projects being listed.
Okay. All right. So I would like to go to the usual questions that I have here, Congressman Ridon. So this is regarding the flood control project. So last week you had a briefing or congressional briefing with the DPWH, which was attended by Secretary Manuel Bonoan. So I would like to ask the key things that was discussed there.
Well, I think in that briefing, the DPWH lamented that a particular budget cut has always been experienced by the Public Works Department, particularly relating to road maintenance. It has been cut year on year, no, in the last couple of years, no,
Mm.
and the result of this is the poor maintenance of roads, particularly in flood
Mm.
prone areas. These are not flood control projects, but because these are flooded areas and the materials that they use are asphalt, it is subject to degradation due to the floods. No? And because you have like
Mm.
limited budget for road maintenance,
Mm.
it takes some time for the Public Works Department to actually make immediate interventions, immediate repairs for these particular um, road problems.
Hmm. So mostly non flood project that was discussed there last week. Okay, so would there be another congressional briefing with the DPWH, or will the Congress will launch a full-blown investigation regarding this, Representative Ridon?
Well, this week we'll be doing another follow-up briefing, and
Mm.
particularly we will ask questions from the DPWH relating to the list that they actually submitted to the president, and secondly on whether or not they have an initial list of the completed,
Mm.
uncompleted, substandard, and ghost projects that had been alleged during the State of the Nation address. No? So I think
Mm.
that's something that we will focus on
Mm. Okay.
this week in the briefing, and
Mm.
we will probably be having some scoping on particular projects like the Kabagan Isabela Bridge
Ah, ah.
and some of the insertions that had been made into some districts in Mindoro.
Mhm. So the scope of the investigation will uncover projects of the DPWH nationwide, not just in Metro Manila, but across the nation.
Yes, and of course, like what the president stated, it was really dependent on actual reporting mechanisms
Mm.
undertaken by the public for us to be able to determine which of the areas are actually subjected to substandard facilities, which areas have ghost projects. And like what the president stated,
Mm-mm.
at this point, we still have limited information relating to these, and we
Mm-mm.
are really dependent on public support and public reporting on whether or not these projects are in fact substandard. These projects are in fact ghost projects.
Mm. Okay, so that validates a report that was published online that a congressional investigation is premature at this time because there it needs to have the Congress must gather evidence that will.
No, I think we have to be very clear. That headline is misleading.
Mhm.
It is fake news. We never stated that the House probe is premature. What is premature is an investigation relating to lawmaker contractors as long as they
Okay.
have not yet been named by any of the accusers.
Oh.
So that is the only aspect in which he stated that it is a bit, to
Mm-mm.
quote it, a bit premature. But
Mm-mm.
whether or not the entirety of the flood probe is actually premature, no. The answer is no.
Mm.
We will proceed in earnest, and that is the reason actually why we had conducted the House briefing
Mm.
last week.
Okay. And you mentioned a few minutes ago that there will be a follow-up briefing regarding this.
Yes, in the soonest time this week.
Okay. By the way, so regarding this briefing, so would you invite some resource persons?
No, for this briefing, it is still the DPWH. But as soon as
Mm.
we launch the full-blown hearings relating to flood control projects, we will have to invite everyone else, not just the DPWH. You have to be able to invite civil society groups. You have to be able to invite
Mm.
the Commission on Audit, among others. No? And if you have whistleblowers, then we will invite the whistleblowers as well.
Mm-mm. Okay, okay. All right. So, how can you answer this? Because I would like to ask you this question, Representative Ridon, because Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong and Senator Ping Lacson has exposés, they are claiming that several government and elected officials illegally benefited on this flood projects. I would like to get your reaction on this.
Well, like what I already stated, the burden is on them to actually, firstly, prove their accusations, and secondly, name the persons actually involved in government kickbacks, in official corruption. No? So the burden is on them, and like what we had stated, they are free to make their presentation. Particularly Mayor Magalang, she is free to make his presentation in Congress. But as soon as he actually makes an accusation, like majority of congressmen are involved in kickbacks, he will be compelled to name congressmen who are actually involved in these government kickbacks.
Oh, okay. All right. So, another point, Representative Ridon. So, the Makabayan bloc in the House of Representatives said that the Commission on Audit should do the auditing process and not the DPWH itself. Meanwhile, President Marcos Jr. in his directed the agency to submit the list of all projects regardless of its completion status. So, my question is, should the Congress start investigation? Will the Congress work with the Commission on Audit to help them accomplish or do the tasks mandated to them?
I think the COA, as an independent office, is free to do what it needs to do, no? And Congress, with its power of oversight, can actually do what it needs to do in the same manner that the Senate can actually do the same, no? I think we can work with COA. And we'd like to be able to get the actual audit report in the last year relating to flood control projects. No? But I think whether it's the executive, whether it's legislative, whether it's COA, I think all of these offices should be able to do what they need to do to, firstly, to ensure that projects are actually completed and match substandard, or at worst, ghost projects.
Okay. So last point before I let you go, Congressman Ridon. So the budget season is here and the Congress will start its budget deliberations for 2026 national budget. So according to a report based on the NEP or the document they obtained, DPWH may face a budget cut for the next year. So with the budget of the agency be discussed in the, for example, in the follow-up briefing with the DPWH, or is this a separate matter that will be discussed eventually?
Well, it's something that can be discussed in passing, but of course the budget of the DPWH is better discussed at the level of the Appropriations Committee as to why their budget was cut or whether they need more budget for next year. No? So, but I think that is something that can be discussed in the briefing or a future hearing with the DPWH.
Oh, okay, very well said. All right, and with that, thank you so much, Representative Terry Ridon, the chairperson of the House Committee on Public Accounts, and also, I forgot to mention this, a representative of Bicol Saro Party List. Thank you so much, Representative Ridon, and have a good day. Thank you for spending our time with us.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And that was the Representative Terry Ridon, the chairperson of the House Committee on Public Accounts. Meanwhile, Front and Center will be right back after these short messages.
This is a public service announcement.
Isang paalala mula sa National Telecommunications Commission, National Capital Region o NTC-NCR. Ang kanilang Oplan Contra Tax Scams. Binabalaan ng publiko na sakaling kayo ay makatanggap ng kakaibang text messages sa mga di kilalang numero o di kaya ay mga text messages na may kahina-hinalang mga link. Huwag pansinin, huwag pindutin, huwag i-click ang link. Ipagbigay alam agad sa NTC website ntc.gov.ph o kaya sumulat sa kanilang email na contratextcam@gmail.com. Sa mga panahong ito, huwag padaya, maging wais na madla. Makibahagi sa Oplan Contra Text Scam.
This is a public service announcement. From PBS, Presidential Broadcast Service, and Radyo Pilipinas.
Paliwanag mo sa tao na hindi totoo yan.
Dahil ang totoo, yung totoo ang dapat ninyong malaman.
Nagkalat sa internet ang fake news
Ang
o
ginagawa
mali
ng
at
fake news, tinatapon niyo yung tao.
What they are doing is creating panic.
We say no.
Yung pagkalat ng fake news. And some of it's dangerous.
Sana iwasan po natin pag-spread ng fake news.
At di magpapakalat ng disinformation at misinformation ang kasulukuyang administrasyon.
Stop telling us fake news because you're wrong.
Para sa totoo at mapagkakatiwalaang mga balita at impormasyon, Radyo Pilipinas. Sa ASEAN, iisa ang laban pagdating sa kalusugan. Kaya't ang banta sa isa ay banta sa buong riyon. Ito ang diwa ng One Region, One Health. Alam niyo ba, noong kasagsagan ng pandemya, nagpadala ng tulong ang mga kapitbansa ng mga PPE, test kits at kaalaman. Dahil sa koordinadong aksyon ng riyon, mabilis at maayos itong naiparating sa mga nangangailangan. Nagkaroon ng online training, palitan ng datos at sabayang aksyon. Bawat bansa alam ang susunod na hakbang kahit magkakaiba ng hamon. Nagkaisa rin ang mga scientists at health workers mula sa iba't ibang bansa. Nagtulungan sila sa pagbabahagi ng research, pagbuo ng solusyon at pagtuturo para mas mapabilis ang tugon. At hindi lang kalusugan ng tao ang mahalaga. Minsan, ang sakit ay nagmumula sa hayop o kapaligiran.
Lahat naramdaman natin yung impact ng COVID sa ating day-to-day living. And sabi nga nila is yung COVID may have come from bats na tumalon sa ibang species and then eventually sa humans. So nagkaroon tayo ng ganung klaseng awareness na ang biodiversity loss, pag nangalaga tayo ng kalikasan natin, it can actually support our efforts to prevent in the long term yung mga zoonotic diseases or mga pandemic.
Kaya mahalaga ang kabuuang pagtingin sa kalusugan ng tao, hayop at kalikasan o ang tinatawag na One Health. Isa itong pagtutulungang paraan para sabay-sabay mapangalagaan ang lahat ng ito, lalo na laban sa mga bagong sakit, resistensya sa gamot at epekto ng climate change. Dahil sa ASEAN, mas mabilis ang tulong, mas handa tayo at mas ligtas ang bawat isa sa riyon. One Region, One Health.
Back to Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service with me, Jerome Toledo. And before we conclude the program, we'll play a clip of President Marcos Jr.'s statement during his State of the Nation address last 2 weeks ago regarding the flood projects in the Philippines. Let's listen in.
Nag-inspeksyon ako at sa naging epekto ng habagat ng bagyong Krising, Dante at Emo. Kitang-kita ko na maraming proyekto para sa flood control ay palpak at gumuho. At yung iba, guni-guni lang. Huwag na po tayo magkunwari. Alam naman ng buong madla na nagkakaraket sa mga proyekto. Mga kickback, mga initiative, errata, SOP, for the boys. Kaya sa mga nakikipagsabwatan upang kunin ang pondo ng bayan at nakawin ang kinabukasan ng ating mga mamamayan, mahiya naman kayo sa inyong kapwa Pilipino. Mahiya naman kayo sa mga kabahayan nating naanod o nalubog sa mga pagbaha. Mahiya naman kayo, lalo sa mga anak natin na magmamana sa mga utang na ginawa ninyo nang binulsan nyo lang ang pera. Para hindi na maulit, so that this will not happen again. First, the DPWH will immediately submit to me a list of all flood control projects from every region that were started or completed in the last 3 years. Second, the Regional Project Monitoring Committee shall examine that list of projects and give a report on those that have been failures, those that were not finished, and those that are alleged to be ghost projects. And third, we will publish this list. Isa sa publiko natin ang listahang ito. Kaya ang publiko na saksi sa mga proyektong ito ay malayang suriin ang listahan at magbahagi ng kanilang nalalaman para makatulong sa ating investigasyon. At the same time, there will be an audit and performance review regarding these projects to check, to make sure, and to know how your money was spent. Sa mga susunod na buwan, makakasuhan ang lahat ng mga lalabas na may sala mula sa investigasyon, pati na ang mga kasabwat na kontratista sa buong bansa. Kailangan malaman ng taong bayan ang buong katotohanan. Kailangang may managot sa naging matinding pinsala at katiwalian.
And you just heard President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. That was his speech during his State of the Nation address last 2 weeks ago. And he committed for a accountability of all the contractors and some government officials involved in the illegal practice of what he calls for the boys, SOPs, in the flood control project. And this morning, President Marcos Jr. has launched the website dedicated for the accountability of all the flood control projects. So that's the website sumbongsapangulo.ph. And once you reach that website, you will see a list of all contractors that partake in that flood control projects, and there's a mechanism that the public can report of the project. So that's the website that the public should use to report the projects that was conducted by the DPWH along with its contractor, so that the truth will come out regarding the flooding that caused several or severe damage, not just in Metro Manila but some provinces in Luzon. And with that, we now conclude this edition of Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Together with our production team and technical personnel, this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.